Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Burrillville School Committee meeting on May 16th, 2023. And we are we are in the high school. I was going to say Broncos Highway, sorry. And we can start. We're going to...
Attendance.
Oh, yeah, attendance, and we have all here except for Sean Bozon, who is excused.
And Victor as well.
And
Victor is running
Victor will
late.
be late. Okay, the first thing we are going to do is Pledge of Allegiance. Oh, there's one here. Oh, over there? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, do I have a motion for, I'm sorry, recognition, we have some?
No recognition tonight.
Not tonight. For approval of the minutes?
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the, the April 18th, April 18th meeting, 2023 regular meeting.
Have a second?
A second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Next one is the warrants and invoices.
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion to approve the fiscal year 2022-2023 school warrant number 11 for the month of April dated May 16th, 2023. Grand total expenditures $2,759,164.56.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So moved. The next thing is the bids.
We have one bid. Madam Chair, I'll make a motion to approve the bid to Automatic Temperature Controls, Cranston, Rhode Island. Total bid price of $529,000 for the Steer Farm Elementary boiler replacement.
And this, and that is, that award is contingent upon funding.
That's correct.
Do I have a second for that? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. The next thing is, oh, I'm sorry, is the fuel oil, recommendations for fuel oil procurement bid.
Oh, sure. We'll make a, Madam Chair, I'll make a motion to approve the proposal for fuel oil procurement for Dennis K. Burke, Taunton, Massachusetts, as presented.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. And the last one is to do with recommendation of photography bid.
Okay, Madam Chair, I'll make a motion to approve the bid for photography to Life Touch for the Burrillville High School and Middle School photography services.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Second.
Any second,
Sorry.
Chris?
Who seconded?
Jill
Second.
with the second. Mrs. Calipano.
All in favor?
Aye.
Mhm.
She doesn't know people's voices, so if you could announce who's making the vote and
Okay.
the second, that would help her. when
Okay.
she's, okay, thank you.
Very good. I have no hearing aids. Is there any discussion for this? No? Okay. I think we did,
We voted on that.
we voted on that. Okay, thank you very much. And the next thing will be presentation by the public to the school committee.
We have none scheduled
We
tonight.
have none scheduled. Public comment comes next. We have someone?
Yep, we just ask that you go to the podium, please, and state your name and address.
And I do have to say that we cannot comment on anything.
Right.
We just have to listen. Thank you.
My name is Claire Fortier. My address is 5 Gerald Avenue in Coventry. And I am a speech-language pathologist at the Northern Rhode Island Collaborative. And I know that the superintendents voted on April 25th to accept the withdrawal letters from all of our member districts, and that they voted to accept the dissolution plan. But I know what you may or may not know is that at that same April 25th meeting, we asked that the districts remain members for 1 year in order for RIDE, the General Assembly, and RIFT to complete their work with any member districts that would remain with us in developing a new form of governance for the Northern Rhode Island Collaborative so that we may continue to provide special education services to some of the neediest students in this state, throughout the state. I'm here tonight to respectfully ask that you stay on for 1 year to give us that necessary time so that we can continue that work. Many of our students have experienced trauma in their lives and in their previous school settings. What makes our programs different from in-district placements and frankly some other out-of-district programs is that our staff is highly trained, highly skilled, highly effective at meeting each student where they are and to work collaboratively to integrate all services seamlessly throughout the school day. We work together as a team every single day. We're able to train each other, support each other, all for the benefit of the students that you've entrusted to us. Our students deserve nothing less. While your teachers do an amazing job, they do not have the same training and they don't have the same access to support staff, OTs, PTs, SLPs, et cetera, that we can have within one building and one program. We can be on call for wraparound integrated services that help our students to thrive. We can be there throughout the day, every day, and within crisis situations and to help resolve those issues. So what I'm asking is why not be part of the solution to help these very needy students? Keep this amazing program going for the students already enrolled, for future students, and for those students remaining in your districts who would be impacted if our needy students were returned to district. So I respectfully ask that you remain a member of the NRIC for 1 year until a new administrative structure can be put into place with the help of RIDE and our state General Assembly. I respectfully request that you put it on an agenda for a future meeting to consider this request. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Hannah Loeb. I am also an employee of the Northern Rhode Island Collaborative. I'm not a resident of Burrillville. I schlepped all the way out here from East Providence this evening. And I did that because the school I work at is absolutely incredible, and the people I work with are incredible, and they deserve to keep working there, and the students deserve to. They need to keep going there. So yeah, I'm here to beg you to do everything in your power to keep us open. You know about the essential services that we provide. You know about the lives that we've changed, how the students who come to us were unable to learn until they did come to us, and many of them have bounced around to different schools. It's often not just, well, they didn't do very well in Burrillville schools, we don't think we can give them the help they need. Some of our students go to the Rhode Island Alternative Academy, some of them go to Bradley schools, some of them try private schools or charter schools before they end up with us. I'm sure you can imagine how our students and their families feel. They're terrified of us closing. And I imagine that you are also aware of the stakes, both for our students and for those students who would be impacted if our kids went back to their home districts. That said, I don't doubt that if our students came back to Burrillville, that they would be in the hands of professionals who are talented and patient and compassionate and loving and dedicated. And that I don't doubt that those teachers would do everything in their power to prepare our students, to prepare all students to lead lives filled with meaning and contentment and stability and wisdom. Yet these qualities cannot compensate for the fact that the schools these teachers work for were, quite frankly, not designed to accommodate the needs of every single student. Not because of any fault in those schools, not because of any reluctance or deliberate ill will, but because the needs of the students at the collaborative are so drastically different from the majority of the population that no amount of funding, no increase in staff, no amount of love or dedication or patience from a talented teacher could ever be enough to provide these students with a quality and appropriate education if they are still in the wrong setting. This is not to say that traditional schools are better or worse than the collaborative, they're just different. And it is not for lack of effort on anybody's part that our students were unable to thrive, unable to function in their home districts. RIDE and the State House and our Board of Superintendents, everybody has expressed a strong desire to keep us open. Our union president is meeting this week with RIDE and with legislative leaders. Claire mentioned the General Assembly. We've also spoken to the President of the Senate as well. We're asking for one more year. This happened very quickly, and we can't get a new form of oversight in a couple of months or even just a couple of weeks. And we want to be able to have something that works. We want to be able to work with all our stakeholders, which includes you folks. If even one member of our Board of Superintendents remains, then we will stay open next year. Just one. But what's more, we have oral confirmation from several other districts that they are willing to stay on. They're just waiting for another district to step up. Some of the reluctance on the part of our board and the part of the superintendent's respective school committees has been financial. There have been rumblings, including in the media, that we are not financially stable or that there's a pension liability, and this is not the case. The collaborative is financially stable. We've been financially stable for several years. It's a lucrative entity and a highly effective school, and the staff are still pretty puzzled at why it might be shut down. It was made clear at our most recent board meeting that the dissolution plan that was voted on could be stopped or reversed at any time. It was also made clear that the superintendents could not act without the authorization of their school committees, which is why I'm here talking to you right now. The whole situation kind of reminds me of being back in school myself. You know, like you're in class and the teacher asks a question and the teacher knows that everyone knows the answer, and all the students know that they know the answer and everyone else knows the answer, but nobody wants to be the first one to say anything. So everyone just kind of sits there in this awkward silence and just waits and hopes that somebody else will stick their hand up first. You and your administration and your colleagues here and in other districts have been asked a question, and everybody knows that everybody else knows the answer, but nobody speaks up, so we're all just waiting. Teachers in and out of the collaborative, school committees, administrators, most importantly, our students and their families are waiting and hoping that somebody will have the courage to be the first one to raise their hand. I believe that you folks know the answer. You have colleagues in other districts who are willing to join the discussion if only someone has the courage to begin it. So I think you know what has to be done. Someone has to stick their hand up. You can vote to recommend to your superintendent that Burrillville remain a member of the Northern Rhode Island Collaborative. You have the power to keep us open. You have the power to enable us to continue providing services, providing hope and a bright future to students from Burrillville, to students from all over Rhode Island, students who are unable to learn in traditional schools. You have the power not only to lead, but to teach by example, and all that is required is a few moments' courage. And after that, I don't think you'll be alone. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Move on to personnel.
Okay, thank you very much. The next one we're going to be talking about is personnel, leaves of absence, retirements, resignations, and appointments.
Madam Chair, I believe we have a retirement. I'll make a motion to accept the retirement of Darlene Holmes, teacher assistant William L. Callahan, effective June 19th, 2023.
Second.
Do I have a second? Second from David. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion to accept the resignations of the following. Nicholas Green, District Head Custodian, effective April 28, 2023. Mario Gianfrancesco, HVAC Technician, effective May 19th, 2023. And Kyle Wilson, Grade 6 Math Teacher and K-5 Math Instructional Coach, effective June 30th, 2023.
Do I have a second?
Aye. A second.
That's Terry. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Reluctantly. So moved. The next thing is the appointments. Do we have,
Just looking
We
for
have some more?
a receive
Motion
and file.
to receive and file the subsequent appointments as presented.
second? That's Jill. This is second. All in favor of that?
Aye.
Next thing is non-renewals, which is not something we want to do.
Fortunately, I will make that motion to accept the teacher non-renewal as presented.
You have a second? Second. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Is there any opposed? So moved.
Just for the record, Madam Chair, if I can, with those non-renewals, we'll have a better idea as the budget process unfolds over the next month or so. And hopefully we'll be calling most, if not all, of those teachers back at a subsequent
And
meeting.
they know that, right?
They do know that,
Okay,
yes.
so that's within-
All strictly
within
for
a month?
financial reasons. At this point, the budget is too unknown to know which positions we'll be calling back right now, but hopefully we can call all of those teachers back at either the June or July meeting.
The next thing is old business, fiscal year '23 Burrillville School Department budget update.
Madam Chair, I will make a motion to receive and file.
Second, Jill. Have a second with Jill. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next one is fiscal year '23 rink budget update.
Madam Chair, I'll also make a motion to receive and file.
Second. Second is Jill again. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Moved. And this one is the policy 7112, building use policy, revised setting, second reading.
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion to approve item number 7C, policy P7112, policy related to support operations for non-district building use, second reading, revised reading, and dispense with said reading.
You have a second? Second. And that's Jill again. All in favor?
Aye.
And Superintendent's report is next.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a couple of items to report out on this evening. I want to start with an update on some safety upgrades that we're planning to get started with over the summertime. We received some quotes on these upgrades. I'm not going to get into details for security reasons on what exactly these upgrades are, but we did receive some quotes, and I crafted a letter that was presented to the town council at their May 10th meeting requesting a commitment to fund these projects. So these will be submitted once we have the commitment to fund. The town council was very generously did agree to commit the funds to fund those projects. I'll be presenting a package to the School Building Authority and the Department of Education requesting emergency use of funds and immediate reimbursement at our municipal reimbursement rate, which is about 50%. They qualify for a few bonus points for safety upgrades, but the work hopefully will move forward by July 1. We have to wait for the new fiscal year to officially apply for these funds and to get approved. So again, thank you to the town council for agreeing to commit those funds. We can now move forward with the application process. We'll be sending that in the next few weeks and then wait until early July for official approval. The reason for the July 1 deadline is that we did receive similar funds in FY '23, so we are not eligible to apply again until the new fiscal year. So we'll get all that paperwork in hopefully by the end of June, and then hopefully it will be approved in early July.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Dr. Slade, if I may just ask a
Sure.
question, you had sort of outlined some of the details of this. Others, some more details that'll be forthcoming. I know you said in terms of, concerns about safety and that you, is there more there that we would be privy to at some point?
Yes, yeah, so the application, when it goes into the school building authority, I will provide a copy to all committee members.
Okay.
Certainly don't want to discuss it in public for obvious reasons, but when it comes to security measures, we want to keep that confidential. But all committee members will receive a copy of the application that goes directly to the school building authority. Has to be certified by an architect in engineering, which is a slight cost for that, which we pay kind of upfront on that, but it has to be engineered and designed for any work that's done, qualify for reimbursement. Once all that application is done, I'll make sure everyone on the committee gets a copy of that.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on, want to give an update on our municipal budget. So as I think everyone knows, the municipal budget on May 1st was submitted to the state as required. Right now, there's still a lot of unknowns with state aid, but by the charter and other regulations, budget has to be presented to the state from the municipality by May 1st. So that was complete and done. We will be presenting at a May 25th budget public hearing our budget needs for FY24. I did receive a copy of the budget that was submitted by the town. Budget has an increase to schools from FY23 in the amount of $318,303, which was the recommendation of the budget board. However, that is significantly lower than our request for FY24. We pared our budget down to bare bones at this point, and the recommendation that was in the budget that was submitted to the state is $513,000 lower than our request for FY24. So Robin and I have been sharpening our pencils the best we can. Obviously, that would necessitate major budget cuts that would directly impact students and teachers. So we've been working closely really with the town finance department and the town manager. They've been open for discussions, and again, we'll be presenting at the budget public hearing on the 25th. Any reduction, as I said, will have a tremendous negative impact on our schools. But I just wanted to note that the state aid numbers are a real concern at this point. We're not sure exactly what those will look like when they're finalized. Most likely, it will be a continuation of a continued drop from what it was before. Down about 400,000 or so from last year in state aid. They split it a little less than that. They split it up over a multi-year period to try to defer the cost a bit. But we're in, budgetarily, we're in tough shape when it comes to state aid. But hopefully, we can work collaboratively with the town and find a way to fully fund our budget, or at least get it to as close to fully funded as possible. Obviously, the loss in state aid, a high inflation rate, and the escalating prices and things like utilities have compounded an already lean budget. So I'll keep you posted on that. As soon as our presentation for the 25th is completed, I'll make sure an advance copy is sent to all committee members.
And this is the last year, next year is the last year of the COVID funds, right?
Yes, one more year for our ESSER funds. So can't worry about next year yet, but that's going to be another issue.
Thank you.
So moving on to some good news. Last week, RIDE shared a press release regarding the WELL initiative. It stands for Wellness and Education Leads to Learning. This was an exciting first-come, first-served grant opportunity that provides $100,000 to districts to create wellness spaces in all of our schools. So we were able to select from a number of products that RIDE had recommended. We're purchasing furniture for all 5 schools. We allotted $20,000 to each school. I got those orders in because it was first come, first serve. The day it opened, we were able to submit. So we got everything done rather quickly, submitted everything, all that paperwork is in. That is not a reimbursable program, that's a direct cost program, so they're gonna pay, RIDE is gonna pay for the full cost of that. So we don't have to pay up front and be reimbursed. It's no reimbursement rate. It's just $100,000 to qualifying districts for use in those wellness spaces. Yeah, it's great news, so looking forward to getting that up and running. And last but certainly not least, wanted to mention, as we had our Teacher Appreciation Week recently, in May, that we have our 5 school-based Teacher of the Years from all of our schools, and our District Teacher of the Year, which was announced this morning. We'll go on now to the state process, but wanted to mention all of them briefly. As you know, they'll be formally recognized at the September school committee meeting. but I did want to take a moment to publicly acknowledge them. At A.T. Levy, we have Joan Supranat, first grade teacher. A.T. Levy Teacher of the Year, so congratulations to Joan. Michaela LaChapelle at William L. Callahan, fourth grade teacher. Congratulations to her. Jen Goodnow at Stair Farm, grade 3. Congratulations to Jen. And then Shane Duran at the middle school, social studies teacher. And last but not least, Nick Horn, our Burrillville High School math teacher extraordinaire. And he was named this morning our district teacher of the year for next school year, 23-24. So our current teacher of the year, Mrs. Leonte, was on hand to a figurative passing of the torch, and he will be here in September, as will the other building reps, to be recognized formally. So looking forward to that. Just wanted to give them a little shout out this year, and again, looking forward to September when we have a little formal recognition. And that concludes my report.
Okay, thank you very much. Reports, I'm sorry, administrators' reports, we have postponed that. That will be for next month. And reports of school committee subcommittees. I can tell you that both Callahan and Stair Farm have postponed. Actually, Stair Farms is going to be, their SIG committee is going to be on May 23rd. And Callahan School has postponed theirs until they get all of their eggs in a row, I guess.
So if I could speak to that for a second, if I can. The school improvement team process this year, it's kind of a new template that the Department of Ed is mandating, is being used by all schools and by all school districts. So at the district level, our strategic plan, which has an additional year before it expires, we redid it 2 years ago. We have to kind of retrofit that into the template that RIDE put together. So we're working on that. That has to be completed by the end of May. In schools at the school level have to do the same thing with their school improvement plans, put that in the RIDE format, and those have to be submitted by the end of June. So that's probably why you see some delay in the school improvement team meetings, is they've been working kind of behind the scenes to retrofit those plans into the template. It doesn't really match up. Quite frankly, I think our format is much better,
Yeah.
a lot easier to use and
Yeah, they
less
said,
cumbersome.
yeah, they said there's no rhyme or reason.
It's pretty tedious, but we do have a Zoom call. I do have a Zoom call with the commissioner on Thursday at 2 o'clock, so hopefully get some more information on that. Kind of hoping for an extension, to extend the strategic plan at least a month, and maybe the school improvement plans a month after that, but I will keep you posted.
Dr. Slater, is there anything that stands out that you would say that makes sense, that there's a good rationale for changing the format? Or?
So I think the format change is tied to some federal requirements that are pushed down to state education agencies, and those are then pushed down to the local education agencies. So I think that's why it's kind of flowing the way it is. It's an online system. We have to input SMART goals with particular objectives. And we have, all of the work has been done, but our objectives don't line up with exactly what they're looking for. And some of our goals are written a little differently, and they have specific ways that they want their goals written and described. So we're trying to come up with some common language. So, if we were starting from scratch and using the template, it would probably be a little less cumbersome. Since we already have a plan in place, we're trying to kind of fit it into their model.
Gotcha. Thank you.
All right, I'll go next because this was part of.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
Yep,
Is that okay? So I attended the middle school improvement team meeting on, what's today? I think it was Monday. Yeah, I think it was Monday. And it was a lot of talk about that as well. Kind of talking about having you guys kind of come up with the plan and then fitting it into however it looks for the middle school. They talked about the priorities that we're working on, it's academics, family, community engagement, and social emotional learning, which align with the district. They reviewed the dances. The sixth graders had St. Patrick's Day dance, which was right after school, and that was successful. There was a lot of talk about the 7th and 8th grade dance, the spring fling, which I found really comical. It made me feel 100 years old because they were talking about how the kids don't really dance anymore and how they just kind of stand there and hang out, and they need to make some adjustments to what they're doing. I guess a student even tried to get a Grubhub order sent to the school, which I just could not believe. You know,
We'll have to go, Jill, and show them how
I
it's
know,
done.
like,
Yeah.
that's the direction we're headed. Like, these kids just are gonna have DoorDash to the dance. But overall, you know, it was good. They're just working on some tweaks going forward. The 8th graders had a visit to the high school today, which was great. The 5th grade is visiting the middle school on the 25th, so they have plans for that. And then there was just talk of all the end of the year events. They did step up in a big way for May, for Mental Health Month. The social worker and psychologist there have really been working hard on trying to come up with things for the kids, so that really made me happy to hear about. And yeah, that was the last meeting for the school year for the middle school, so that's it.
Okay.
I actually took the time to type it out, so I'm not reading my chicken scratch anymore. I can see. I attended the BPAC meeting last Wednesday. Yeah.
It was 2 Wednesdays ago.
Was it? Time flies. On April 27th, students from our youth coalition attended the mocktail event at Bishop Hendricken High School, hosted by MAD of Rhode Island. Unfortunately, our students didn't win. I guess they came up with a pretty creative mocktail, but it didn't win. But Monica reported that the kids had a great time interacting with other students from other high schools around the state that have youth coalitions like ours, so kudos to them. The mock crash will be held this Thursday at Burrillville High School. The CATCA Community Anti-Drug Coalition of America trip is scheduled for July and will be held in Dallas, Texas. We have 7 high school kids attending.
Awesome.
Yeah, right? The topic of this year's event will be focusing on building your youth coalition in the schools. So, excited to hear from those kids. The pre-prom, Monica reported that the pre-prom dinner was a success with approximately 100 people in attendance. So, that's good, coming off of, this is the first time we've had it since COVID, so. Game nights are still going on at Jesse Smith Library. The next event will be May 26th. And I was wondering if we could, I thought of this after I made these notes, if maybe we could add that in the community newsletter that we sent out?
I think we did.
Yeah, Monica's got the schedule of the dates for it, and just, you know, just another way to get the word out. And last but not least, I would just like to, I've been attending the BPAC meetings pretty regularly, and I just want to give a shout out to our youth coalition. It's the end of the year, school year, but I just want to give a shout out for all they do all year to bring attention to the dangers of drugs and alcohol use and other various things too, vaping and things like that they cover. They put a lot of time and effort into bringing awareness to our kids, and I just want to personally thank them for all they do, and of course Monica, who heads it. These kids really care about getting the word out, so it's a good group of kids, and I just want to give them a shout out for all they do all year. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to attend the school improvement team meeting, but Monica sent me the notes just before I came here. I got a chance to look at them. The
For
one
Levy?
for Levy, I'm
Yep,
sorry.
that's
Did I
okay.
say Levy?
You
I
didn't say anything.
Oh, I'm sorry, for Levy. Kindergarten registration had over 100 students registered, so, yeah. And as always, the one thing that they want to look, they're looking into is, of course, and I know I probably mention this at every meeting, but I'm going to continue mentioning it till we can see some progress, but, excuse me, an increase in parent and community involvement in all the schools, and I will continue to mention that because it's quite clear that a lot of the parents don't even realize some of the things that are going on in the schools today. So, again, when I have the platform to mention, I'm going to mention it. Please get involved. If you can, parents, get involved in your schools in any way, shape, or form. So, and that's all I have.
Well, thank you very much. Okay, anyone else? I'll move on. At correspondence and communications. And hearing none, we're going to move on to new business, homeschool applications. Do you have a motion?
Yeah, Madam Chair, I'll make a motion to approve the homeschool applications as presented.
Second.
Terry, second.
Terry.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Skills USA overnight field trip request.
Motion to approve the overnight field trip requests for the Burrillville High School to go to the Skills USA.
David?
Second?
Jill? Yeah, that looks really, really interesting, and let's hope that they win, which I'm probably
Sure.
almost sure they
Sure,
will.
they'll do very well.
Very well.
Yeah. Good for them.
Have to vote on that.
Yes. Do I have a, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The next one is class of 2025. What do you- Teacher Lisa Scotty Johnson.
Yeah, motion to approve the DC trip for 2025.
Second?
David and Jill.
So just to give you guys some background on this, I thought Lisa was gonna be here, but, these kids never got to go to DC in their 8th grade year.
I did tell her she didn't have to.
Oh,
tonight.
okay.
Met with her this morning, said I
Perfect,
didn't think it
yeah,
would be an
I
issue.
don't think so either, but I'm really so excited and thrilled that she would step up and do this for these kids because they missed out and she's, I really appreciate.
Oh, they
her
would have
doing
gone, they would have gone to DC in,
They would have gone in
the
8th
middle
grade
school.
year, yep, and they, because of COVID, obviously, they didn't get to go, so she's, putting this,
Approving it a year early, so there's plenty of time to fundraise for next year to
Yes.
offset the cost.
so, thank
That's
you
good.
to her, really, sincerely, so,
Did we vote on this one yet?
yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
Do we have
I thought.
Motion's on the floor.
motions on the
Motion
floor?
seconded.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And the last one in new business is 2023 to 2024, our annual meeting calendar. And that looks like it's for all 12 months, it will be every second Monday of the month.
Tuesday.
Monday?
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Oh, I wrote Monday, I'm sorry. That's right, Tuesday. How did I do that? Okay, do I have a motion on that?
Sure.
Motion to approve?
Second?
Jill and Donnison. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And 13, committee comments on agenda items. Do we have any? If not, so we'll move on. Pending issues, alumni field update. Let's see.
So I can give you a quick update on the Alumni Field project and where that stands. I know at the last town council meeting on May 10th, it was, in public session, it was discussed. So the subcommittee has forwarded a list of recommendations to the town council. Committee members have received a copy of that as well. Basically, that subcommittee has recommended that the field complex is linked with the rink complex and run as one entity together with the rink with its own self-sustaining budget. So that was discussed briefly at the town council meeting on the 10th. Another option that was brought to my attention, along with town council president Fox, was the Wide World of Indoor Sports, which currently has an agreement with North Smithfield to basically handle all of the scheduling and all of the events that are non-school events for that field. And they have a contract with North Smithfield. They provide payment to the town in order to run the field. The town still gets, the school rather still gets first preference, town gets second preference, town-related groups follow that, and then outside groups are fourth. Mr. Bonnell, who is co-chair in district and lives in town, but is heavily involved in Wide World of Indoor Sports, presented to President Fox and I, and he's going to be giving a formal proposal to the town council for consideration. Once the town council gets it, of course, they will share it with the school committee, most likely at a joint workshop where school committee and town council can discuss the options for that. So it does look promising. I'm not sure which avenue the committee would like to go in, either bundling with the rink and having that as one entity, or having an outside group handle all of the scheduling. They do all the supervision, scheduling, and maintenance during the events that are not school events. Any of the school events, obviously, we would have to supervise. They do all the scheduling and run the snack bar, everything. And then they provide payment to the district for that. I did speak to the superintendent in North Smithfield, who's very happy with their agreement, but they're only 1 year in. So they're looking to expand their services and provide more opportunities for their teams to play in this part of the state. So again, it's promising, but there's still a lot of details to work out with that. So that should be forthcoming in the next week or so.
I have the one concern about linking the field with the rink. The rink was built to accommodate the schools, and the schools are supposed to be working with it, just like we have doing now, that we are responsible for that. How will that work?
I don't know, I'm not sure. We
Okay.
haven't gotten that far in the conversation yet. There's a lot of devils in the details, if you will.
When it was built, it was given to the schools.
I mean, there is an option to have the rink stay operational the way it is and, utilize the wide world of indoor sports through their proposal. But there is the second option of bundling those together and having one athletic complex. But I don't know whose jurisdiction. Would the rink fall under the schools of the town? Would the field fall under the schools of the town? All those kind of things would have to be discussed and ironed out between the school committee and the town council.
So did you, did you say that they're gonna take over everything, the maintenance of the field, everything? They're gonna,
They do maintenance of the field when it's a non-school event. So they basically supervise when their groups are using the field. They provide supervisors, they clean the field, they sweep the field, they do all those kind of things.
okay, so only when it's a town event, so, okay.
We would cover school events like we do now, and they would cover all other events.
Not to say it was the, their goal sort of to be able to take advantage of the space because they need it, right? Is that part of their reason for getting involved? Or-
Yeah, my understanding is their facility in North Smithfield, the Wide World of Indoor Sports facility, is pretty much fully booked. So they have 3 indoor courts in that facility and a dome in the back, which they just redid. So they have 4 fields that are being utilized pretty much from early in the morning until late at night every day. So they're looking for other venues because they have more teams and they have fields available. That's what they're using North Smithfield for. They'd like to add one in Burrillville, perhaps add a 3rd one down the line somewhere else in this part of the state.
One other thing I just want to comment on, I did have some similar concerns with the relationship that we've got with the rink, which is fantastic, certainly under Chris's guidance and
Agreed,
I feel like, there's such an undertaking with this, we don't want to lose, if something happens with the whole complex, do we drag that into it and does that create a problem? So I did voice my, my concern about it. It's not, doesn't mean I'm objecting, but, certainly something to be discussed.
How does the middle school work? That is, the middle school fields are under the jurisdiction of the town, with the schools being first dibs for use. How does that work?
Working fine.
No
It's
problems?
working well. I mean, we do have some of our maintenance folks line the field when the town can't do it. They cut the grass, they do what they can there, but oftentimes if it's a middle school game, we'll have our guys line the field, but other than that, the town does complete maintenance on it. There were multiple games down there today, at a softball game and a field hockey game, I think.
From that on, will they be servicing the behind the school, the field or whatever's there?
Oh, the practice field?
Yeah.
No, the practice field's that's a
That'll be
school field,
schools.
yeah.
Okay.
That's gonna be ours.
Anyone else? Any more discussion? Okay. Moving on to adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Terry and
To vote.
Ed. All in favor?
Aye.
Bye.
Aye, so moved. Here we
Thank you,
are.
everyone.
Thank you.